Welcome to Richfield Coliseum outside Cleveland, where the Cavaliers must beat the Chicago Bulls in Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals to keep their season alive. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, and Ahmad Rashad are standing by courtside with the starting lineup.
20,273 capacity crowd here at the Richfield Coliseum. A look at the Chicago Bulls starting lineup: John Paxson and Michael Jordan. Open in the backcourt, Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen up front. And the center is Bill Cartwright. The coach of the Bulls, Phil Jackson. He has the best playoff winning percentage of all active coaches. And here's how the Cleveland Cavaliers open up with Mark Price despite the injured ankle. Craig Elo at the guards. Larry Nance and Mike Sanders on the front line, along with Brad Daugherty, who will be playing in pain coming off the 1-for-10 effort in Chicago on Wednesday night. Lenny Wilkens, 815 career wins as an NBA coach, and that is impressive. Number 5 on the all-time list. Well, as this series has progressed, feelings on both sides have been bruised, but players on both clubs tell me that even with the incidents in Game 5, Game 6, both, as it turns out, involving Danny Ferry, there are no hard feelings, and there is mutual respect. We'll have to see how that plays out this evening.
And what you have is a Chicago Bulls team that understands the importance of putting away the Cavaliers tonight. They'll try and jump on them early. They want to end the series, go home and get the same amount of rest as their next opponent if they can.
Joe Crawford, Bill Oakes, Paul Mahalik are the officials as the crowd responds with Cleveland controlling the tip. Nance played by Grant. Daugherty. Back for Price. And Paxson comes away with it. Lost control. Nance with the steal.
Brad Daugherty has taken a lot of the tape off that they had on that middle finger trying to support it. I guess he just could not control the basketball. The shot clock. And it's picked off by Pippen. Elo with the steal. Daugherty with the pass for Nance. Cavaliers 4 and the Bulls nothing. Jordan hearing the boos right at the start. Cartwright rebounded by Grant. And Daugherty comes off the ball. Price. And back come the Bulls. Cavaliers, though, are back down court. Pippen with a notion to make his move. Now got the opportunity, and he's hit by Daugherty. Let's go over to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, I was watching Brad Daugherty during the warm-up. He took the majority of his shots with his left hand, but he had the two middle fingers of his right hand in a brace. He felt uncomfortable with that, took the brace off, and now he just has that one injured finger rest. Marv?
All right, Ahmad. Brad Daugherty with the sprained middle finger on his right hand, and you can watch him grimace every time he makes contact with the ball.
It's right at the base of his middle finger in that fatty, padded part of your hand. It's the part that every time you touch the basketball, whether you rebound, whether you catch the pass as you go to shoot it, there's some contact there. It's a very painful situation, but the man has to play. He's going to play. Give it his best shot.
And earlier in the playoffs, Brad Daugherty was bothered by his sprained right ankle. That during the series against the Boston Celtics. And he played right through that, and it was outstanding. Cavaliers 4 and the Bulls 2. Nance, who was very quiet in Game 5, was stripped. Pippen, what a change! change of pace move by Scottie Pippen as he beat both Price and Sanders.
Well, the only difference between this game and the last one in the beginning is Pippen has asserted himself both times, but this evening Pippen's shots are going down. He missed some easy ones in game number 5. The double team as Nance took the ball in a little too deep on his dribble penetration, and then Pippen has been given the green light to try and make some things happen off the dribble. Turns the corner on Sanders, no defensive help.
Foul committed by Paxson. Sanders having difficulty finding someone and called for the timeout, preventing a 5-second violation. This is game number 6 of this best-of-7 Eastern Conference final. Back in game 1, it was Scottie Pippen with a 29-point, 12-rebound, 9-assist performance. Chicago had an easy time. They beat Cleveland in the surprise game. Game 2 in Chicago, led by Brad Daugherty, who scored 28. Cleveland with a wipeout victory over the Bulls in Chicago. Game 3, Michael Jordan, 36 points. And the Bulls here in Cleveland, that was last Saturday afternoon, jumped in front by 19-2, 26-4, never headed. Game 4, John Williams off the bench for 18. And Cleveland came up with a victory in Game 5. Jordan with 37. And the Bulls put the Cavaliers away in the fourth quarter, a 15-0 run. Cavaliers did not hit a field goal until 3.5 minutes were left. Blocking foul call. It's on Pippen.
The Bulls defense is up, very aggressive. They're trying to jump into passing lanes, trying to pick up charges, offensive fouls against the Cavaliers. They remember how the last game ended. They had the Cavaliers demoralized, their heads were down, they're trying to belly and early in this game and hope they'll go away.
Remember, that was a 2-point game going to the fourth quarter. And off a pretty lead from Price. Cavaliers 6 and the Bulls 4. In that fourth quarter in Chicago on Wednesday, Cleveland missed its first 10 shots. Chicago went on a 17-1 run. Cleveland 5 for 18 in that fourth quarter. Here's Jordan with the head fake. Yes. So the game is tied at 6.
Elo starts out playing Michael Jordan a little bit soft. I mean by that he backs off the step and sees if he's got his outside jumper going early.
Brad Daugherty. So the Cavaliers lead 8-6. Jordan for Cartwright. Pretty dish off by Jordan.
Their offense, when it's working at high efficiency, is beautiful to watch. There's movement without the ball. They play very unselfish basketball. There's good interior passing. It's a pretty offense to watch.
And Elo is called for his first. The Cleveland Cavaliers hoping to tie the series, sending it back to Chicago for Game 7 on Sunday night. Price picked it off, could hold on. Here's Jordan to the fadeaway, and Daugherty with the box out. Brad Daugherty playing here in the first quarter with high energy. Nance, yes. Cleveland by 2.
They play that little sudden transition pick and roll game, two-man game, Price and Daugherty, Price and Nance, and it catches Chicago without any help defense.
Paxson is wide open for 3. And out comes Price. Bulls able to get back. Here's Daugherty giving it up. And Elo regroups. Sanders with a mismatch. Yes. Cleveland 12. Chicago 8. Cavaliers have come out in very aggressive fashion.
And the Cavaliers' big concern is rebounding the basketball. They're being out-rebounded by about 7 a game right now. After the first 5 games, they have to eliminate second shots.
Grant to the board. Oh, what a play by Horace Grant. Horace with 14 rebounds in Game 5 on Wednesday night.
And after 5 games, an 80-57 advantage in the offensive form for Chicago.
There's Pippen back to the offense. Cleveland with a 2-point lead. Daugherty jumping out on a split. Yes.
And that's Chicago's version of Cleveland's transition pick and roll game. Different. Cleveland played it with Price and a big guy. Chicago played it with their small forward, Scottie Pippen, and a big guy.
Cleveland and Chicago tied at 12. John Hot Rod Williams getting set to check in. The call away from the ball. It's against Cartwright.
Bodying people, trying to stop cutters from coming across the lane. Whoa. And then a late recovery that time. The push by Elo. Foul.
A physical foul. Timeout has been called.
Welcome back to Richfield Coliseum in Cleveland, where the Bulls and Cavaliers are locked in a battle for the Eastern Conference title. We pick up the action in the second quarter and a 1-point Chicago lead.
Bulls lead 33-31. And Lenny Wilkins staying with Price and Battles in the backcourt. Doherty is back up front with Nance and Williams. Price guarded by Paxson. He got picked off. Doherty for the Williams to the rebound. Nance on the follow and a foul call.
Well, it's one of the areas where they have been pounded by Chicago on the offensive boards. We talk about the great spacing that Cleveland has in its offense. On the other hand, it could be a problem because they're spaced out so well, they don't get that opportunity to come up with second or third shots. And then again, they're such a good shooting team most of the time, you don't have that many misses to come up with.
And the Cavaliers to the line for the first time. Nance is an 82% free throw shooter. Chicago by 1. Price putting some pressure on Paxson. We come up on 6 minutes to go in this first half.
And here's what they go to, the post up right away. Jordan against Battles, what they're trying to get.
Grant, yes, he was given the shot, passed it up, changed his mind, and was able to drill it home.
And they even tried to get Michael late there. He swung around the floor to Grant. He looked for Jordan flashing in the lane, but then when his defensive player backed off, he had to shoot it.
Battle with his second field goal, and the Bulls lead by 1.
Well, it was a good decision by Lenny Wilkins. He's going to ride John Battle out and see if his offense can help enough to offset the defensive problems he had trying to guard a bigger Michael Jordan.
Crowd wanted to travel on Livingston, and Williams' pass went astray and set it for Grant.
One too many passes that time by Chicago on the inside. Williams should have taken it strong to the rim.
Now Doherty being played by Williams and stopped by Grant. They converged on Doherty, and Grant came up with the block. And here's Grant foul.
When you go to the basket against Chicago, there's not just one guy, but there's usually two that come to try and get it, and they get it either in front or a lot of times from behind. Jordan, though, always with his head up, spots Grant, power forward all the way down the floor. Williams did a good job of stopping the layup by reaching over another Bull who was trying to basically block him out.
Hot Rod Williams called for his first. Horace Grant to the line for the first time. For the Bulls with a 36-34 lead. Horace Grant in his 5th year out of Clemson. And it's been another solid performance by Horace. He has 10 points. Chicago leads by 3. Price indicating the play. Livingston switching off. Price recovers. And the foul being called by Bill Oakes. It's against the Bulls. Called on Livingston.
Well, we saw Mark Price almost come up with another turnover, and coming into this game, Price has had 24 assists and 17 turnovers prior to this game. That is not a real good turnover-assist ratio for a point guard the caliber of Mark Price.
Oh, battle with an acceleration move, and last touch by the Bulls. 4:35 remaining in this first half. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad from the Coliseum in Richfield. Cavaliers looking to send the series back to Chicago for a seventh and final game. Price with his second field goal brings Cleveland within one.
Mark Price just said, the heck with that turnover-assist ratio. I can shoot the basket.
That running one-hander Price goes to is a shot you rarely see in the NBA. Here's Jordan. Livingston showing his strength. Off the offensive board, the Bulls lead 39-36.
Well, Phil Jackson has confidence once again in Cliff Livingston. He's putting in the game early and couldn't respond.
Come on! Nance able to control, and he's fouled. Bulls want a jump ball, but contact made according to the official, Paul Mahomet.
And Livingston obviously doesn't agree with the call. He feels that's all basketball and it should be a jump ball. Doesn't matter. He's going to the foul line for two. It's, hand is on the ball, but it's the body on the shoulder and the rest of the contact when the foul is called.
So Nance now 2 of 3 from the line. Larry Nance, the best shot blocking forward in NBA history. Although has not come up with big numbers in that department in this series. Livingston sitting down. Pippen is back along with Cartwright. Grant also will get a rest. Horace Grant leads with 10 points. Chicago 39. Cleveland 38. Right, back out for Pippen, met by Williams. Cartwright wide open again. Well, they continue to double up on Scottie Pippen. It has provided Bill Cartwright with a number of open shots.
Yeah, but that time they rotated hard at him and challenged the shot.
And Larry Nance has given Cleveland a 1-point lead. Here's Jordan. And he is fouled. No! They called the jump ball. The outside official, Bill Oakes, called the foul. That's what Phil Jackson is arguing. And Joe Crawford said no. It's a tie-up.
Phil Jackson has a valid point insofar as one official gave one hand signal, the other official gave the jump ball signal. Whether or not the one whistle came away ahead of time, that's what the argument will be about. Jordan going, there's the hand on it right there. Ball comes down, Crawford calls jump. Billy Oakes had his hand raised for the foul signal.
A timeout is taken. When we come back, it will be indeed a jump ball. 3:04 to go in this first half. Cleveland has come from 7 down. They lead by 1, and a disputed play just a moment ago.
Well, here's the play now as we break it down. Well, there, Joey Crawford's right. That is a jump ball. As we let it run, up. Billy Oakes is right. There's the foul on the right arm. And you know what? Phil Jackson's right, too. So everybody's right on the play to some extent, but we're going to have a jump ball. That's what counts.
The feeling that Joe Crawford had the better angle, and so that's why they are jumping it up, and it's controlled by Cleveland. Here's Price, chased by Pippen, and he's rejected by Pippen.
Well, another layup possibility, potential score that's stopped by Chicago's great defense.
Williams picks up the foul, his second.
Well, what do you do if you're Mark Price going down the floor and you know that you got Scottie Pippen chasing you? You don't have much choice. You either back it out, which, you know, nobody's going to like that decision, or you try to lay it up and he just jumps over the top of you and blocks it.
Both teams have committed 4 team fouls. Last touch by the Cavaliers. The Bulls will have it with 8 on the 24. Horace Grant checking back, replacing Scott Williams. 2:39 remaining in this first half. It's the Cavaliers 40 and the Bulls 39. To show you the way this series has gone, with Cleveland overtaking at the backcourt violation. Ball goes to Cleveland. With the Cavaliers coming from 7 down, this is the latest we have seen a lead change any game this series. Hot Rod Williams inbound. Elo in the backcourt. Williams up front with Nance and Doherty. Here's Nance. Stopped by Cartwright. Got a piece of it. Pippen with the spin, unloading to Paxson. And Michael Jordan. Here's the Bulls. Michael with a very quiet first half. He's been off. Loose ball foul called. A push against Cleveland. It's called on Doherty. Michael Jordan has hit only 3 of 9 from the floor. There was some question about his wrist, which he injured at the end of game number 5. For more on that, let's get over to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, action game number 4. Michael Jordan fell a couple of times on that wrist. And then in game 5, he fell on it again hard late in the game. Went to the hospital after the game. They had it x-rayed and said that he felt pretty good today, but obviously that could have some effect on the way he's shooting the ball tonight.
Well, you have 2 players who have injuries, and it's affecting their shooting. The wrist to Michael Jordan, Mark Price with the bad ankle. He said it wasn't that bad. Well, he's shooting only 2 for 9 at this point in the game.
And Paxson able to get to it.
2 minutes.
Here's Jordan. Grant on the follow. Chicago 43 and Cleveland 40.
You've got to run the floor and make the transition defense. No reason why Chicago should have 4 players at one end and the other team, Cleveland, have only 2 back there. The follow-up shot, second shot attempt, killing the Cavaliers.
Elo for 3. Doherty gets to it, and he's pushed.
Ball is on number 5, John Paxson.
When you're back with numbers, there are 4 red shirts over the half-court line and only 2 back there at that time for Cleveland. The extra effort. Keep running through. Don't let them get the easy scores. You come in and help out your team with the extra effort.
John Paxson sitting down after collecting his 3rd foul. And Brad Doherty to the line for the first time. Well, Brad Doherty opened up with 23, game 1, 28 in game 2, and then the scoring totals went down. In game 3, he was said to be a decoy. In game 4, 14 points and 14 rebounds. Lenny Wilkins started to use him in a different manner. And then in game 5, he got off to the slow start, and then he hurt his finger, and he finished up 1 for 10. But he's come out strong with 10 points, 6 rebounds in this first half.
Well, he's their main post-up guy, and when he gets going and draws those double teams, it opens up shots for Price and Elo and the other perimeter guys for Cleveland.
Michael Jordan, 3 of 11. Here's Williams. Cavaliers by 1. Again, Pippen racing down and foul. Scottie Pippen has been in a track meet right throughout the ball game.
And Jordan taking on the big front line, hangs on a little bit longer than normal. He's on his way down, actually, when he shoots that thing, and that's not the normal lift that Jordan gets or the look that he wants at the basket.
Well, the Bulls were underplaying the injured wrist of Michael Jordan. Not much was said about it. Scottie Pippen with 13, and we can only guess if he is being affected by the bad wrist that Ahmad described a moment ago. Craig Elo did do an effective job earlier, but Jordan only 3 of 11 for 6 points in this first half. And Scottie Pippen, on the other hand, seems to have his legs very much into the flow of the offense. Chicago leads by 1. Elo from deep. Elo now 1 of 4. His only field goal was a three-pointer in the first quarter. Nice pass from Pippen. And the ball goes to Cleveland. Last touch by Chicago. 35 seconds remaining in the half. Price fighting Doherty, and he's fouled.
Tough pass, tough catch. Mark Price threading the needle to Doherty on the roll to the basket. But when you roll against Chicago, you draw a crowd. They have tremendous team quickness. They recover quickly. There they are closing down the lane, Livingston and Grant.
That's not where Doherty wants to be with that sprained finger. Fouled by Livingston.
I'm going to ask Price, could you throw it just a little bit higher next time? We're not reaching down in the middle of them both.
Now here's B.J. Armstrong for Cliff Livingston, who just collected his third. In the past 2 seasons, Brad Doherty has transformed a body of baby fat into a mass of muscle. Has become a much stronger player. Clearly the best passing center in the NBA, and he's tied the game at 45. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. Shot clock at 5. Shot clock at 2. Here's Pippen. Final seconds. So at the half, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls are tied at 45 in Game 6 of this best of 7 Eastern Conference Final Series.
We're back in Cleveland, where we are now in the third quarter of Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Chicago Bulls have a slim 4-point lead with just over 9 minutes left in the period.
Working off the pick for the open shot for Mark Price. That is only his third field goal. Jordan stripped, but able to recapture. Paxson shooting. Yes. Chicago leading 55-51. Blocking foul committed by Paxson. That is his 4th personal.
That last jump shot was set up. Mark Price is running along the baseline to the corner. The defense tries to go over the top. Too much space in between. The result is the good pass by Elo, the wide open look by Price. Price with the quick crossover. Paxson anticipating. Tries to step in and pick up the charge. No dice.
A.J. Armstrong has replaced John Paxson. We talked last night with Phil Jackson and asked how come we don't see the constant pressure defense by the Bulls that we saw so successfully a year ago. Once again, the Bulls all over the ball, and they have really had a terrific game in terms of block shots.
I think the first block came on the jumper right there. I think Pippen got a piece, and now what looks like a sure 2 by Nance. Again, a rejection by Chicago underneath.
Williams. He's hit from behind by Cartwright.
You must take the basketball strong to the rim and try and dunk it against teams that are blocking your shot. That way you will at least draw contact and get to the free throw line for a free throw attempt. If you go up soft and try and lay it on the glass, active teams like Chicago, they'll go after it and get the blocks and steals.
Rod Williams has not shot well from the line during the playoffs. During the season, a 74% free throw shooter. Fight We have talked many times about the success of the Bulls going on and off with the pressure defense. We talked about that last night with Phil Jackson. He said the major reason that you don't see it against the Cavaliers is because of the great respect they have for the quickness of Mark Price.
The fact that Cleveland attacks the Chicago press, tries to score, they line up a little bit differently on free throw attempts, which causes Chicago problems in getting into the press, and then their inability to trap Price and stop him off the dribble. He splits it and goes full steam ahead to try and get a score.
Crowd looking for the foul, nothing called. Mark Price so deceptively quick. Cavaliers with the ball, they're down by 2. 4.5 gone by in the third. Nance getting a second opportunity, found Elo. Nance, 19 for Nance. The game tied at 55, and the Bulls call for time. And there's Gordon Gunn, the chairman of the board of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Gordon, who is blind, attends games with the assistance of the radio play-by-play of the voice of the Cavs, Joe Tate. Gordon Gunn devotes a great deal of energy to the RP Foundation fighting blindness, and he is now its national chairman. Scottie Pippen is called for the foul. Now the Bulls want to talk it over, and Phil Jackson is very upset. 6:55 remaining. Third quarter. The game is tied at 55. And Mark Price to the line because Chicago is over the limit. They've gone over the foul limit early in this third quarter. Mark Price, the #1 free throw shooter in the NBA, just under 95%. Mark Price, bothered by a sprained left ankle, said to be a very mild sprain. He is 8 points for Price, although he has not shot well. Armstrong. And Elo comes away with it. And put through. Armstrong with the pull-up. Yes. And the game is tied at 57. Halfway through the third, Grant taunting Williams, called for the foul.
And Cleveland taking a little bit of the pressure off of Mark Price, letting Craig Elo play the point guard role and try and feed down low in the lane area. And with Jordan guarding it, that's not easy, and it's also not easy getting open down inside.
That's number 3, called on Horace Grant. And with the Bulls going over the limit early, once again, the Cavaliers to the line. Rod Williams, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. For those of you who may have just tuned in, it has been a very quiet game for Michael Jordan. In the first half, Jordan 3 for 12. He's attempted only 1 shot here in the third, and he missed it. 3 of 13. His last field goal came 2 minutes into the second quarter. That's been it. Does not even seem to be looking for his shots.
Well, right now he's trying to create open shots for his teammates. He's making the moves, getting in the lane, and looking to elevate and drop off.
Well, right here he looked for the shot. And he's now 3 of 14. Price eluding Jordan. And Price able to chase it down. Nice pass from Nance. John Williams providing Cleveland with a 3-point lead.
How
for Grant. Cleveland 60, Chicago 59 as we come up on 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Price with a runner. Yes.
And Mark Price never let B.J. Armstrong catch up on the rotation. He caught it, put it on the floor to the basket.
Whoa. Michael Jordan seemed to lose the attention span for just an instant and turned it over. Here's Lance for Elo. The Cavaliers lead by 5. Cartwright's fourth field goal. He has 8. Cleveland 64 and Chicago 61. The Cavaliers attempting to tie the series at 3 apiece. Price thought he had Elo in the corner. It'll be Chicago ball. If Cleveland can come up with a victory, they will play a 7th and final game back at Chicago Stadium Sunday night. We'll be there starting 6:30 Eastern Time. If Chicago wins, it is on to face the Portland Trail Blazers in the NBA Championship Series. Jordan getting in close, and that is his first field goal since early second quarter. He had missed 7 consecutive shots.
Well, let's see if Chicago continues to get the ball now. Next couple trips down to Michael Jordan. Try to get him on the roll. Try to get him off here in the second half.
Nance is on fire. He has 21. Cleveland by 3. Larry Nance has hit 9 of 13. Jordan with the pull-up. Doherty with the rebound.
Michael's shooting that ball. It's almost a line drive right now. Very little lift on the shot.
Price able to get it off to Williams. Nance. Crowd wants the foul. The Cavaliers very unhappy with the no call. And it was last touch by Cleveland. It was called a clean block by Pippen, his 4th block shot. Cartwright angling in. And the foul is called on Doherty. That's his 3rd.
Brad Doherty gets a little chuckle out of that because what he's trying to say is with the contact that's been going on in the lane area, to call that little hand check, not even worth it.
Armstrong, followed by Price. Now Jordan posting up. Here's Jordan. Yes, and it counts. Michael Jordan. Finally hitting double figures. 10 points for Jordan. And he'll go to the line. It was fouled by Williams.
Well, first the shot is a line drive. There's very little lift or arc in the shot by Michael Jordan. There's the miss. But the next time he gets the ball, Doherty tries to come over and double team, but takes a poor angle. Jordan just sees the open lane, finishes at the rim.
And this is the first time that Jordan has gone to the line. Chicago's hit 13 of 14 from the free throw line. 3-point play for Jordan to tie the game. 2.5 remaining in the third quarter. Elo and Armstrong involved away from the ball, and the foul is called on P.J. Armstrong.
You had mentioned earlier, Mark, the fact that Cleveland was into the bonus situation very early in the quarter. It's so important for teams because small fouls like that, the loose ball fouls, the incidental contact, when the whistle blows, you're rewarded by going to the free throw line and you're able to pick up some easy extra points.
Greg Elo to the line for the first time. He's only a 71% free throw shooter. It's unusual when you consider the fact that he has such good range from outside. He's an excellent three-point man. Cavaliers by 2. Jordan down court in a hurry. He thought he was fouled. Here's Williams. Look out. It's a block on Jordan.
Well, this is Michael's version of that hard foul. Doesn't try to hurt anyone. Rotates up to take the charge. Accepts the fact that it might be called a foul, but he's not going to give up the easy layup.
Second foul committed by Jordan. Hot Rod Williams to the line. He's 3 of 4. Cavaliers lead by 3. Chicago led by as many as 7 in the second quarter. Cleveland came back. They tied the game at halftime at 45. And right now the Cavs lead by 3 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining in the third. Michael Jordan, 5 of 18, only 11 points. Jordan with a good fake. The back tap, handled by Elo. And the foul. Scottie Pippen charged with his third. So once again, the Cavaliers to the line.
The teams understand the importance of all the loose balls, so they'll do anything they can to produce turnovers. Pippen that time trying to jam the jump pass by Elo, the body contact and the foul.
Greg Elo spent 3 years with Houston. This is 6th season with Cleveland. He was a free agent steal by the Cavaliers. An excellent role player. He could play guard, small forward, very strong defensively. Cavaliers lead by 4. Price going for the steal. And at 40 left in the third. Cartwright stepping out to set the screen. Nance able to switch. Here's Jordan. And he was hacked. So Michael Jordan to the line.
Well, Jordan abandoning the pull-up jumper right now, taking the ball strong to the rim, knowing that he has so much hang time, the ability to draw fouls. Perhaps that can get him on a good roll. Started out by making a couple free throws.
Hot Rod Williams called for his 4th. 4 apiece on Williams and Sanders for Chicago. John Paxson with 4. 3 apiece on Pippen and Grant. Michael Jordan averaging 34 points per game throughout the playoffs. That goes back to the series against Miami and New York. He's averaged better than 32 in this series against Cleveland. Light pressure being shown by Chicago. Sanders back on the floor, able to move it down with 1:15 to go in the third. Elo looking to post up on Armstrong. Shot clock at 5. Here's Nance. Kept alive by Doherty. Pippen skying for the rebound. Armstrong. Cartwright. And the game is tied at 70.
That was a very poor job of paying attention to your man when the shot went up. Nobody checked that time. Doherty's responsibility. Check off Bill Cartwright. I don't think he got caught in any rotation that time.
Price attempting the 3. Here comes Jordan. Michael Jordan cannot buy one. 5 for 20 for Jordan. 20 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Doherty. Yes. Cleveland leads by 2. Chicago will hold for 1. 15 seconds to go in the third.
Phil Jackson called for his spread offense, and now will be Pippen trying to break down Sanders off the dribble with Jordan or BJ spotting up to the open shot.
Pippen with the spin. Crowd wanted to travel. Lonnie Wilkins very upset. Looking for the travel. They did not get it. Instead of buzzer basket for Scottie Pippen. And the game is tied at 72.
officials saying that the hand in there by Sanders caused him to lose control when he went into the spin dribble. Therefore, it was no travel, but you can't convince Lenny Wilkens of that.
Here's that disputed move by Scottie Pippen that concluded the third quarter. Cleveland Cavaliers wanted a travel call as Pippen hit the shot right at the buzzer. Let's listen in now as Lenny Wilkens pleads his case to the officials.
Hit the ball. He caught it. Now he takes steps. No, hey, hit the ball. Never hit the ball. You guys don't listen. No, we did listen. He hit the ball. Right. He firmly caught it. Now he took steps. You tell me that's not a ball? Yes, you're right. You can argue that one all night. The deflection came, then Pippen re-grabbed the ball, got control. Lenny's saying then he hopped and took his steps, which would be a travel. Lenny's right. The officials say there were no steps after he got control of the ball again after the deflection. And you know what? When he loses,
the fourth quarter is underway. Nance got the 24-second buzzer, but Sanders did get the shot off. Cavaliers now lead 74-72. Michael Jordan giving it up. Michael Jordan only 5 of 20 through 3 quarters for only 13 points. Elo went down, involved with Jordan, and the foul called on Elo. That is his second.
well, a different way of trying to help Mike Brown send him down into the post area, see if he can take Elo from the low post spot. So instead of your center, they're going to flash Jordan down into that block area. Elo with the body on, doesn't let him get to his spot, but the foul is called for the hold.
Scott Williams check back in for Chicago up front along with Grant and Pippen, Jordan and Armstrong in the backcourt. Now Sanders guarding Jordan. Here's Jordan with the step. Nance came over to help out. Fast break. Brandon stopped by Armstrong. Good play by B.J. Armstrong, getting back to stifle Terrell Brandon.
Well, Brandon not quite sure what to do. He saw the Bulls defense coming back at him hard. He kind of got caught in the air, that moment of indecision. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Do I give it to a teammate? Very fortunate that the ball is knocked out of bounds.
Livingston checking back in, and Michael Jordan sits down. Minute 20 gone by in the fourth. Here's Nance. Doherty gets the new 24. Elo played by Pippen. Elo for three. Cleveland 77. Chicago 72. Greg Elo hitting his second three-pointer of the night. Williams for Pippen. Would not fall for Scottie Pippen. And Doherty fouled by Pippen. His fourth.
What's happening now is Cleveland is starting to assert itself on the glass. The shot goes up. This should count as 1 point for Scottie Pippen. Because it does go in, but changes its mind and just decides to go sit up that time.
Well, the Cavaliers in games 3, 4, and 5 were looking for the three-point shot on the subject of long opportunities. Tonight, 2 of 6. Craig Elo just buried one for his second of the game, so he has hit on both. Both Elo and Twice have shown that they have the range from downtown. And the Cavaliers with a stunning 45% from three-point land against the Bulls this series. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. Cavaliers have reeled off 5 straight points and lead at 77-72. Sanders with the step. Mike Sanders playing with 4 personal fouls. Extends to a 7-point Cleveland lead. It is their biggest of the game. Livingston tripped up. And that is number 5 by Sanders.
Normally, the Bulls defense, as we showed early in the game, closes the lane down. You don't get a clean look at the rim. Mike Sanders puts it on the floor, drives the lane. Nobody rotates over. Then you get a little bit pumped up because you score at the offensive end. You become overly aggressive at the defensive end and pick up those kind of fouls.
And Michael Jordan has checked back in. Sanders sits down. For the Chicago Bulls, it has come down to this to avoid going to another 7-game series as they did against the Knicks. They need Jordan to step up. Michael, to this point, 5 of 20. Jordan, yes. And the Cavaliers now with a 79-74 lead. Forced out by Cartwright. Brandon beating Jordan, and then rejected by Williams. Scott Williams had a couple of block shots in Chicago on Wednesday. Jordan finding Livingston, and Elo with the rebound. Double team. Williams came from the blind side, but is called for the foul. Scott Williams looking for the steal off the surprise, picked up his third.
A moment ago, Terrell Brandon turned the corner, thought he had a clear path to the basket, but then as the defense rotated over, a much bigger Scott Williams gets both arms up. From behind now, Williams tries to get it when Nance isn't looking, gets a piece of the arm.
Williams again drawing the double coverage, getting it out for Elo. Here's Pippen. Rebound Pippen. So the Bulls cut it to a 3-point Cavalier lead. 4 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter here at the Coliseum in Richfield. Nance from deep. Nance 11 of 18, 25 points to lead the Cavaliers. Cleveland 81, Chicago 76. The steal by Nance. Elo, stripped by Jordan. 3-on-2, Pippen. Cavaliers with a 3-point advantage. Sonny Wilkins now with Brandon and Elo at the guards. Doherty, Williams, and Nance up front.
Wilkins just trying to buy some time for Mark Price, the guy he needs on the floor to direct this offense. They're trying to save him now for these last critical moments.
Hot Rod Williams off the fake. And it appears he's come up hobbling. May have pulled something with that move. Hot Rod in pain, indicating to the bench that he's all right. Jordan. Oh, what a move by Michael Jordan. Extending, he beat Brandon, and then he was able to hang. It cuts it to a 3-point Cleveland lead, and the foul committed by Nance.
Well, Jordan knows he's got a little guy. They just couldn't get it to him quick enough. Cleveland did not react in time to help out, and then just a sensational move by Jordan, who is behind the backboard, couldn't decide which hand to shoot it with, still converts it, picks up the foul, and goes to the free throw line.
Cavaliers 83 and the Bulls 81. And the foul is called. 6:21 remaining in this fourth quarter. Grant picks up number 4. Well, the Chicago Bulls have certainly had the edge off the boards right throughout the series until this evening. Cleveland with 4 more rebounds.
Bulls averaging 7 more rebounds a game coming into this one.
Another block for the Bulls. Livingston getting a piece of it, but Williams goes it home. Hot Rod Williams apparently came up with a cramp after that last bucket a moment ago, but says he's all right, able to hang in. He has 14 points. Cavaliers lead 85-81. Here's Jordan. Michael Jordan, 7 for 24. John Paxson is back, playing with the 4 fouls. Mark Price is back. Price stepped out. Price looking to avoid Paxson, went wide, and he stepped out. So it will be Chicago ball. Phil Jackson has Cartwright, Grant, and Livingston on the front line. Scottie Pippen getting a rest. Paxson and Jordan are at the guard. Jordan facing the double team. What a pass for Grant. Michael Jordan delivering to Horace Grant. 20 points for Grant. The Bulls are down by 2.
Jordan actually wanted to pass to Cartwright, who had stepped out along the left baseline at the last second. Saw Grant underneath, made the terrific feed.
We are down to 5 minutes remaining in the fourth. 5 on the shot clock. Elo with 3 on the 24, had to fire one up. Kept alive by Williams. Hot Rod Williams showing his quickness, getting inside, although the Bulls felt that he pushed off. And Phil Jackson walking the sidelines screaming at Joe Crawford.
And coaches can recognize on nights when you're working so hard, just trying to make good things happen, but the ball just seems to bounce the other way.
Livingston to the driving hook. Livingston to the tip. Cartwright not able to hit. Williams gets to it. Hot Rod Williams has emerged as a major factor here in the fourth quarter. The Cavaliers call for time. 4:24 remaining. Cavaliers with the timeout. They lead by 4. 4 remaining in the fourth quarter. Now the Cavaliers lead the Bulls 87-83.
A moment ago, Michael Jordan with his head up, penetrating in the lane, thinks that this defensive man is going to step up and that Cartwright will be the open man, maybe stepping out. But instead, watch Grant slice under the basket, and then the last-second decision-making by Jordan to produce the easy score.
Tonight, not the usual explosives from Michael Jordan and Mark Price. At one stretch, Jordan missed 7 consecutive shots, only 7 for 24, and Price 4 of 15. Cleveland, though, has received help from other areas, in particular the man with the ball, Larry Nance, coming through with 25. Hot Rod Williams with a strong game off the boards and 16 points. Shot clock at 4. Here's Nance. Lost it.
Down the stretch, these last 4 minutes, the big men for Cleveland on the glass is going to be the biggest factor, the second and third efforts. And can they shut down the lanes on the penetration like Jordan just then, taking it to the hoop?
So Jordan has 20, and he has brought the Chicago Bulls within 2. 3:45 to go in the fourth.
This is no time for fatigue to set in on that front line of Cleveland.
And Mark Price continues to have his shooting problems. 4 of 16. Pippen rebounded by Jordan. Paxson, yes. John Paxson with only a second field goal. He's been in foul trouble throughout, but he has tied the game at 87. Cleveland led by as many as 7. It's been close throughout. Here's Nance dumping it off. Doherty, yes, and it counts. The foul committed by Pippen. That is number 5 on Scottie Pippen.
Well, Jordan is really struggling shooting from the floor, only 8 for 25, but Jordan works to do things that help his team win. That is is one big rebound there for the Chicago Bulls. Then at this end for Cleveland, Doherty with the big basket and the opportunity now for a three-point play.
Doherty, 6 of 7 from the line, 18 points, 11 rebounds despite that sprained middle finger. He has played with pain right throughout. Cavaliers have a three-point lead, just under 3 remaining. In the fourth, Cleveland hoping to send it back to Chicago for a 7th and final game. Michael Jordan beating Craig Elo off the dribble to cut it to a 1-point Cleveland edge.
With the set that Chicago is running, and with Elo forcing Jordan baseline, there's no time for the big men to wait. They've got to rotate immediately to get to Jordan, or else he's at the rim finishing, or you need to change where you're forcing.
Nance changed his mind, and it's picked off by Jordan. He wanted to hold up, saw he did not have the shot. We're coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the fourth. Now to 6 on the 24. Here's Pippen. Yes. So the Bulls have taken a 1-point lead. The Cavaliers have called for time. It's a 20-second timeout. So that leaves Cleveland with only 1 timeout remaining.
And Michael Jordan is tired. He's a tired player. He's worked very, very hard. He is not shooting the ball well, but he's doing a lot of other things like offensive rebounding, breaking people down off the dribble. And here with Elo letting him go baseline and no rotation, that might be the easiest score of the evening for Michael Jordan.
Physically, it's been a difficult stretch for Jordan, bothered by congestion, sore throat, cold. We told you earlier about the injured wrist, but it may be that he has just had a bad game. That does happen from time to time. I thought Craig Elo did a nice job against Jordan defensively earlier, but he's a guy that we talked about it yesterday with Elo. Basically, he stops himself.
He's got 8 assists. He has 6 rebounds. He's forced a couple turnovers. He's just not shooting the ball well tonight.
2 minutes remaining in the fourth. The Bulls 91 and the Cavaliers 90. Earlier, Chicago led by as many as 7. Cleveland has led by as many as 7. Here's Price on a good shot, rebounded by Pippen. Cavaliers able to get back. Pippen, he's fouled. The hesitation move by Pippen drawing the foul on Nance. That's 4 on Nance. Both teams now with 4 team fouls. So it's a non-shooting affair. It will be Chicago inbounding, but first a timeout is taken by Phil Jackson. 1:43 left. In the fourth, the Bulls with a 1-point lead. The timeout situation. Chicago with 220, Cleveland 1 remaining. The next foul for either club puts them over the limit. Michael Jordan with 9 of his 22 points in this fourth quarter, so he has come on in the fourth. Chicago leads by 1. 1:35 remaining in the fourth. Here is Jordan to the fadeaway, and he will go to the line.
Michael hung just long enough to let the defensive player's arm make contact. The screen away by Grant frees him up, and now he knows Nance is going to challenge. Just the extension by Nance catches Jordan on the forearm.
Foul on Nance, his 5th. Nance, high man for Cleveland with 25. Pippen leading Chicago with 28. And the Bulls have done the job at the line. 18 of 19 from the line. Chicago by 2. Hoping to wrap the series and then open up game 1 of the NBA Final against Portland at home on Wednesday. Cleveland looking to force it to a 7th and final game in Chicago on Sunday night.
And last game for Chicago, 25 out of 35. They missed 10 free throw attempts. Tonight, trying to find a way to win, doing it from the free throw line.
at 7. Nance from deep. Air ball. It was deflected.
The lift in the legs. Slowly you could see that the Cavalier front line was getting tired. The Bulls, with their quickness, athleticism, still going at him.
Michael Jordan able to recapture. Here's Pippen, wide open. And it's rebounded by Doherty. 50 seconds remaining. Price for 3. Yes! And he's tied the game at 93.
Well, you knew he was pulling up for that 3 from the time he got the outlet pass, and it was 2-2. He was pulling up if you got to look at it.
Here's Jordan. Yes, and it counts. Michael Jordan right back, hit on the reach-in, and he'll go to the line. The foul committed by Elo.
Down 3 at the time. Price pulls up, gets a clean-looking transition, and knocks it down. Then Jordan, I think he gets an assist and a basket at the other end. He passes to himself, loses it, tips it, goes in.
Earlier we discussed, although it was not a usual sensational type game for Michael Jordan, he would have to step up in the fourth quarter with the Cavaliers at one stretch leading by 7. Well, he has certainly accomplished that. 13 points for Jordan through the first 3 quarters, and he has scored 13 here in the fourth. And Michael will go to the line. A moment ago, that man, Mark Price, tied the game at 93 by hitting a three-pointer. And now Jordan to the line. 6 for 6 from the line, hoping to extend to a 3-point Chicago lead. 37 seconds remaining in the fourth. It is Chicago 96 and Cleveland 93. Price lost it off his foot, and it will be Chicago possession.
Just a little hedge move defensively. The step out by the screener's man forced Price to try and go a little bit wider. The turnover takes place.
Well, Cleveland is over the limit, so a foul does put Pippen on the line. That's number 5 on Hot Rod Williams. 22 seconds to go in the fourth.
Cartwright does his job, steps out. Price has the right leg extended. The ball hits the side of his foot, out of bounds.
Scottie Pippen, 6 for 6 from the line. He has had a terrific evening. 28 points for Pippen, along with 12 rebounds.
We had talked earlier in the game about the fact that Price, coming into this game, had 24 assists and 17 turnovers. Not a real good ratio. Tonight, 8 assists, 5 turnovers.
20 seconds remaining. Cleveland has 1 timeout left. They're down by 4. And the foul will put Cleveland at the line. It's John Jordan. That is not what the Bulls wanted to do. It stops the clock, and it sends Price to the line.
Well, you assume that Price is going to make his 2 free throws, which brings it back to a 2-point game. It gives him a chance to press, go for the steal, or foul immediately, and then put Chicago back on the line.
Price at 95% from the line, tops in the NBA in that department. He's 3 of 3 tonight. Bulls lead by 3, 17 and 5/10 seconds remaining in the fourth.
There's a little box-out situation taking place.
Price missing the shot on purpose, but it did not work. Price just went over in a collision, and a foul is given by Doherty. I don't know. What do you think about that move by Price?
Well, it's happened. It's over with. He almost came up with the rebound. He didn't.
All it would do, Mike, is bring them within 1. They would basically be in the same situation.
Still have to get the ball back. Still have to foul. Hey, Mark Price trying to figure out a way to win. He did it. Didn't come up with it. Jordan questioned whether or not he had gotten rid of the ball before the foul took place, which would have been an easy layup for Chicago. So now he'll have to try and make 2 at the free throw line.
Jordan is 7 of 7 from the line. And now Chicago with a 98-94 lead. I wonder if there was a decision of Mark Price, because that's the type of situation where you don't want to tell your teammates. You want everybody to be surprised. That's the way you succeed. And now a timeout called by Lenny Wilkins. 11 seconds remaining, fourth quarter, and the Bulls now lead 99-94.
Well, the Bulls players all rallying around Michael Jordan. They know that he struggles for most of the game, yet they also know that if there's one guy that's going to be able to turn it around by himself, it's going to be Michael Jordan through a lot of hard work, a lot of effort. Phil Jackson acknowledges a little bit by rubbing the back of Michael's head, and the rest of his teammates all go over and share in congratulating what he's done here in the fourth quarter in particular.
The Cavaliers are out of timeouts. They are down by 5 with 11 seconds remaining.
This still is not over with. There'll be just over 11 seconds remaining. You go for the quick score, and it doesn't matter whether you get a 3 first and a 2 later, or a 2 first and a 3 later. You've got to have a combination of 5 points. You take the best open quick shot and score, 5-minute steal, and then if you don't get it, you've got to foul immediately and put them back on line and hope they miss.
Michael Jordan taking over in the fourth quarter. 29 points for the game, 23 in the second half, 16 in the fourth quarter.
Tell your team about putting the ball on the floor and the ability of picking up a 3 by going strong to the basket. If the Bulls should challenge, try for the block, perhaps you get fouled as you're dunking it. There are a couple ways of coming up with those 3s.
And the Cleveland Cavaliers are hearing it from this capacity crowd. It has been a splendid season for the Cavs. Knocking off the New Jersey Nets in the first round, beating Boston in 7, winning 57 during the regular season. Price guarded by Jordan. Nance for 3. Rebound Jordan. Time running out. The Chicago Bulls are headed back to the NBA championship round. They have defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6 games. They do it here tonight by the score of 99-94.
So a big win for the defending champion Chicago Bulls, who are now in their second consecutive NBA Finals. Don't forget, you can see Game 1 of the Finals between the Portland Trail Blazers with Clyde Drexler and the Michael Jordan-led Chicago Bulls in the early hours of Thursday morning, live on Screen Sport. This is Alton Bird saying we'll see you Thursday here on Screen Sport.